And Shalom is Brother Yashima Zakar from the Israelite Report. IsraeliteReport.com. Upon my watch, all praises are definitely due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity, those that truly believe and want to get the hell up out of here. This is Psalms 14:1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God, there is no power. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread and call not upon the Lord. It's going to be a remnant that make it out of here. Because this devil is going to show great signs and wonders and miracles. And a lot of people will be deceived. A lot of our people are already deceived and will be deceived. To the point where there are some that may actually, for the moment, believe, but they will get weak. And they'll get to a place where they believe the Lord will not deliver on his word. And it's the Lord that does that. It's the Lord has designed this movie. And we're closing this movie out. We're going into the ending scene. But there will be a great sifting. Because this devil is going to show all types of signs and wonders. Miracles, if you will. Okay? Things that, that the average person will be in awe of. It's going to be a great deception. And a lot of our people will fall for it. That's why you have to stay in prayer, stay occupied in prophecy, because the prophecies remind you that you're on the right track when you truly believe and want to get the hell up out of here. Unless you know that you're not crazy. The world would have you think you're crazy. You got to separate yourself from this world. No matter how much it may hurt, you got to put hurt aside. This isn't the time to be feeling hurt about shit. You really do have to have a fuck this world mentality to get through this. Now, I brought that scripture out, Psalms 14:1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no power, there is no God, for a reason. I got this clip from Yuval Noah Harari, the same person who said that humans are now hackable beings. And he's definitely talking about the microchip, the mark of the beast. But he had something else to say. He once said that we can piss God off as much as we want to, or I believe he said we can make God angry as much as or as often as we want. So this devil is very prideful when coming against the Lord. He's very boastful and proud. Now, I don't know if somebody else done already covered this at the time of this recording. I haven't seen anybody else cover it. But I'm going to play this clip and just listen to what Yuval Harari had to say. Listen to how he's talking about the Most High.
Control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. And if indeed we succeed in hacking and engineering life, this will be not just the greatest revolution in the history of humanity. This will be the greatest revolution in biology since the very beginning of life 4 billion years ago. For 4 billion years, nothing fundamental changed in the basic rules of the game of life. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution.
Now, out of everything that he said, I took some notes, and he said a lot of crazy shit, but what stuck out to me was he said that science is replacing evolution by natural selection. When he says by natural selection, what he means is what the Most High has ordained. Because it is the Lord that determines who you are and what you will become. Right? The Lord set up kings and take them down. Even kingdoms. He setteth up one and taketh down another. Loosely paraphrasing. But this devil is determined to be God. He sitteth in a temple of God, showing that he is God. This is his ultimate goal. Matter of fact, let me get let me get it because it's going to bother me if I don't get it. 2 Thessalonians 2:4 said, no, let me start at 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, and it says, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, the power, Yahweh, sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is God. And that's the ultimate goal of this devil. And not to go into the microchip, but you should already know that the mark of the beast is the microchip. that is Esau's end goal, his end game. If he can implant you with a microchip to control you, because that's what it is, it's control. They can kill you with that microchip. Go watch the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake played a character that was going against the system. There was this implantable device that everyone had in their forearm that determined how much time they had to live. This devil wants to sit in the temple of man, making him God, and in his mind, above God, right? Above the Most High. Because with the microchip also comes the determination of, how long you can live. Because if they cut the chip off, you die. See, there's more to it than just, you take the microchip and you'll be able to participate in society. There's also the factor of he can tweak the chip to make you lose your mind, to go crazy, to go commit a violent act. Or he can cut it off and kill you. But it's the Lord that creates life and death. It's the Lord that created good and evil. I hope that, I hope I'm making sense. I know I can be, but let me get it again. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:4 again. It says, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is God. I'm going to read it verbatim. Or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. That's the ultimate end game, the real goal. That's how we know we're at the end, because Esau is not pretending anymore to be the good guy. He's rolling out his draconian measures at an all-time high. He's letting you know who he is. He's taking the mask off. When I was in Idaho, I saw this devil for who he is, who he was and who he is, what I was trying to say. I seen him in his pride. A lot of our people don't see Esau in his pride, at the height of his pride. So I'm going to read this, what Yuval Noah Harari said in that clip. Science replacing evolution by natural selection, right? Natural selection, he's talking about the Most High, Yahweh. Science replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design, the artificial intelligence. He says, not intelligent design by some God in the sky. Again, they're disrespecting Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahawashi, because he made everything. Okay? Not intelligent design by some God in the sky, but our intelligent design and the design of our clouds, IBM clouds, Microsoft clouds. Again, he sitteth in the temple of God, showing that he is God. In other words, he's not trying to be a lowercase God. He's trying to make war with big God, as the Christian church would say. I used to hear that when I was in the Christian church. They would say, there's little God, and then there's big God. Of course, they didn't know the name Yahweh. And they didn't know the name Yahawashi. Which is one of the reasons why I need to calm my ass down. I had to rebuke myself because I get so pissed off, man. Some brothers are cool, calm, and collected. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of envy them. I'm being honest. I kind of envy. Like I get irritated and pissed the F off. Shit pisses me off. And you brothers that got that cool, calm spirit, man. I get angry as hell, man. But I'm trying to be on my best behavior today. And by the way, when I say I envy you, I don't mean like, envy. I mean like I admire you. Because I know a nigga will get, real simple. Niggas don't know how to judge matters. But let me get Job 12:16. It says, with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. And Esau is running a great deception campaign. I'm going to coin that one. Esau is running a great deception campaign. And there's no telling what this devil might try to pull off. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to tell you, I hold off from saying this often. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Their thoughts, everybody thinks thoughts in their mind. And there's certain things they'll say out loud, and then there's things they won't say out loud. I wouldn't be shocked if this devil tried to pull off a great deception and have some white, stringy-haired, blonde, stringy-haired Jesus in the sky. Some kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like some Project Bluebeam type shit. Some sort of projection that he'll put up in the sky. There's another word I'm looking for. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it. A lot of people would be shocked. I wouldn't be. Because Esau is desperate. The cat is out the bag. This word has gone forth, upon the whole earth. There are people that know. I'm going to tell you, please, Baba Gasha, real quick. Can I tell y'all a quick story without y'all tuning out? I want to say this was back in 2012, 2013. I was talking to two sisters. They were blood sisters. Fine as hell, too, by the way. But they were visa agents, and I worked at the Chinese embassy. And me with my dumb ass brought up the fact that I was an Israelite. And they were talking about the J-ish people. Because they're both what you would call Palestinians. And so I brought up the J-ish people. They were talking about the J-ish people. But I brought up the fact that I'm an Israelite. But my dumb ass, I was being stupid. But I was alluding to it, but I didn't quite say it, that the small hats that are in the land today claiming to be the Israelites, they call themselves Israelis, are not the real people. I was alluding to that. And before I could even say it, Yahawashi is my witness. One of the sisters said they're not the real people. They're not the real Jews. I'll say it that way. I'll just say it. And my dumb ass didn't really catch on to that back then, that these people know that they're not the people. The thing is, they're not going to tell you that they know that you Negroes over here are the real people. And I'm telling you the truth. Yahawashi is my witness, man. She stopped me and said it. I was alluding to it, but she said it. So that lets you know that these people know the truth. These other nations, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them know the truth. They know who's who. They know who we are. But let me get it. Job 12:16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. He leadeth counselors away spoiled and maketh the judges fools. It's the Lord that's doing this. It's the Lord that's controlling this. And what they're trying to do at this moment is become the Most High. The Lord has them in straits. Okay, He, in the fullness of their efficiency, He will have them in straits. The Lord has deceived them. He sent down a lion spirit into their ear that whispered in their ear and said, you're going to be God. You're going to be Yahweh, bigger than Yahweh, more mightier than Yahweh. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. That's why you have so many of our people that are deceived, and there's no need in arguing with them. Either the Lord will be with them and they'll see this truth, or the Lord will send down that lion spirit, angel. You know? It says he leadeth counselors away spoiled and maketh the judge fools, the judges fools. He looseth the bond of kings and girdeth the loins with a girdle. He leadeth princes away spoiled and overthroweth the mighty. And this is a part of this truth that a lot of people cannot grasp. Some people hear us talk this way about America being destroyed, and in their mind they're saying, well, nigga, you in America too. How you gonna make it out of here? The strangeness of their salvation. We're praying for mercy, that the Lord takes us up in those ships and we get the hell up out of here. I'm not looking for Yuval Noah Harari to save me. I'm not looking for Donald Trump to send down some aircraft from Space Force to save me. All I got, and all of us that truly believe have, is our faith and our salvation. And that the Lord is a rewarder to them or him that diligently seek him. I want to change the subject up a little bit. I've been talking about this little meeting that Trump had with the president of El Salvador, where he was supposedly caught on a hot mic saying that he wants to get rid of the homegrowns, meaning he wants to send the homegrowns over to this El Salvadorian penitentiary where they hold these, what they would call violent illegal aliens or violent illegal immigrants. And I'm going to play this clip right quick, and then I'll come back and talk about it, because it's something that people aren't really considering. They're not really thinking about what Trump, his administration, is really trying to push. And if I don't do nothing else, I'm going to warn you of the time to come, the time of Jacob's trouble to come. Because I do feel like that is my responsibility to warn you. I'll play this clip and then I'll come back and talk about it.
Criminals next. Yeah. I said, homegrowns are next. The homegrowns built. You got to build about 5 more places.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. It's not big enough.
No, yeah.
Come on. So this is a much different office.
Homegrowns are next. So that means any of you American citizens, American-born citizens with Social Security cards, you've been living here, you pay your taxes, any one of you, me, her, him, them, they, you will go next. If you don't agree with Trump, his administration, if you have anything bad to say about him, you are next. First, it was just supposed to be the undocumented criminal. Then it ended up being documented people who weren't criminals at all. So now it's U.S. citizens. And you know, black people, you will be a target. Always have, always will. Are y'all getting it now? Are y'all realizing we are in the last days?
So what she was saying at the end of this caught my attention, because in the back of my mind, I had always been thinking about what Trump said about the homegrowns. And I know he's talking about so-called African Americans. With the northern tribe, the Latino tribes, he was able to play the game of, these are illegals coming into our country, invading our country. These Edomites are calling it the Great Invasion. They were able to play that game. But with black folk, it's a little different, because we were always here. And as she pointed out, at first, the Trump administration, what he campaigned on was getting rid of the violent illegals, the violent illegal immigrants. And then it turned into, once he got in office, it turned into ICE arresting, apprehending, and deporting documented individuals. There was a situation recently, a black man who is a U.S. citizen was basically, ICE. I believe they went into his house, his home, snatched his ass up, and they said, we don't give a damn if you're a U.S. citizen, because he kept saying, look, I'm a U.S. citizen. They said, we don't care. Hauled his ass out into the snow, or at least into these cold weather conditions, and arrested his ass anyway. And then it came out that he's actually a U.S. citizen. But I want to talk about this because, see, people have short memories, and I know this. When the ICE arrests on the northern Latino tribes first started, people were outraged. And then there became this, what you would call normalcy bias, where people just got used to this happening. So there's no more outrage. And this is what the elites of Esau know. They know that at a certain point, people stop fighting, people stop protesting. And they count on that. They bank on that. People aren't even talking about ICE anymore, or these illegal arrests anymore. But notice she stated this. She said that black people are the target and always will be. So I'm pretty sure she doesn't know everything, but she knows enough to understand that they started with the Hispanics, right? Said they were going to deport and arrest these undocumented, violent, illegal immigrants. And then they moved the goalposts and said, we're going to get rid of those that are waiting for green cards, or even if they have citizenship, or they may be here legally, student visa or work visa or whatever it may be. This does not seem to be important to a lot of people, but I'm telling you, this is setting a precedence. And that situation that happened in Minnesota with this, I don't know if he was a black man or if he was an African dude, but that situation is also a test run. See, now they're coming and arresting the darker skinned individuals. Right? To get you used to that. The idea that they can just come up, ICE can just roll up on a dark skinned person, because the Latino tribes tend to be more of a lighter complexion. But they're testing to see, we come and just apprehend, arrest a darker skinned man. And now we want to get you used to that as well. Because like she said, black people have been the target, are the target, and always will be. They're always targeting the tribe of Judah. And then she ended it by saying, can't you tell or can't you see we're in the last days? She's correct on that. You know, I keep thinking about this, and I think about this often. The time's going to come when everything's going to shift in a different direction. There will come a time when Jacob's trouble is in full swing. Remember, it's a time like never before. There's going to come a time when all of this, playing around and having debates and who's got the biggest Israelite camp, none of this is going to matter. And I see this. And my only thing is to tell you that this is coming. Be prepared for it. Learn how to lean on the Lord. I'm not here to be like the great grand poobah, nothing. I'm not trying to be shit. I'm really just trying to put this warning out there. And I just so happen to have people that listen on these different platforms, whether it be Apple Podcast or Spotify. I'm just telling you, this is what's coming. You have to remember how Esau thinks and how Esau looks at you. You're a dark-skinned person. That makes you illegal. You might say, well, what are you talking about? I'm an African-American. I was born here. To them, you could be an African. You could be a Hamite. And remember, this is federal. This came from the President of the United States. This order came from the President of the United States. So this idea of, I'm going to sue, they don't give a shit about your lawsuit. The federal government does not care about your lawsuits. This isn't the state. You could be just walking down the street, minding your business, and ICE could just pull up on you and say, you look like this individual that is wanted or suspected of a violent offense. See, when they snatch you up, it's different from when the local police snatch you up. When ICE snatches your ass up, it could take years before you're cleared, before you're found innocent. And lawsuits mean nothing. And the reason why I keep harping on this is because what Trump did with D.C. was a test, federalizing the local police, meaning they have to answer to the feds. Okay, the local police in D.C. were stripped of their powers. I'm going over and rehashing things that have already taken place back in August. We're going into 2026 now. And I'm trying to tell you, this is what's coming across the country. You're going to have to lean on the Lord more than ever before. Okay? Like, you're literally going to have to, the faith you have now, you need to increase that. Like, really. You're going to have to give it all up to the Lord. This isn't going to be a march around the Barclays Center like IUIC. You personally are going to have to actually, truly believe. You, not your leader, believing for you. You, the person, will actually have to believe. Shit is going to look a lot, shit is going to look a lot different come 2026. By mid 2026, watch the conversation we're going to be having. Salaki, I had to do something. I do want to get this in Ecclesiasticus 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. All right. And a lot of people have put their faith, their trust in this devil. A lot of niggas right now, talking shit. Oh, well, you nigga, you miserable. You're a miserable person. You just see everything in negativity. When you gonna give me some good news? The good news is if we have faith and endure to the end, right? We will escape this destruction. Our salvation is in Yahawashi, the deliverer. That's the good news. I'm always telling you to have faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. I'm always saying that. But that gets overlooked. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. His wickedness, his corruption, that perpetual hatred that Esau has for Jacob is still there. When you have the spiritual eye salve, eye salve, my accent is showing. You can see this devil and you can see his tricks. Excuse me. You can see it. 12th verse says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, your strong side. Never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, right? Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Now it's funny. I did this just to test it out, because I'm new to Chat GPT and what's the other one? Grok. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not, I don't do this AI shit. I've done websites. I've worked on websites. I could build a website for you. I did podcasting and all that. Still do. Side hustle thing. But as far as like Chat GPT and Grok and all this other shit, I'm kind of new to it. So I did this as like a little test to see what would come up. And I went on, I did the little voice thing. I asked Chat about never trust thine enemy. And this is what came up. It says that phrase reflects a survival principle found in many traditions, biblical, military, and historical. It says, in plain terms, an enemy's interests are opposed to yours, so trust without discernment puts you at risk. Right? And our people are at risk. But I want to read a little further down. It says, you see this idea echoed in scripture and history. And it brought up Proverbs 26 and 25. It says, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Now, when Trump was running his campaign for president, right? He was running his presidential campaign in 2024. It was all about the violent illegal immigrants. But then it turned into just immigrants, period. And that's something that the northern tribes did not take into consideration. You had these Latinos for Trump. They thought Trump was just going to get rid of the violent criminals. From Venezuela, El Salvador, you had the MS-13s. You got a lot of MS-13 in the DMV area because it's a lot of El Salvadorians here. They thought, oh, Trump, the white man will help us here and get rid of them. And they didn't know he wanted to send your ass somewhere too. Alligator Alcatraz, as they call it. Oh, you're a single mother. You're here on a working visa. Guess what? You get locked up just like you're a violent criminal. And that's what's about to happen to these niggas as well. Oh, you Negroes. In D.C. right now, today, matter of fact, today, I was at work and 3 times, Yahawashi is my witness, I saw National Guard walking up and down the street. They're still here. They haven't left. The news isn't covering it as much, but they're still here. Something's going to happen. Another scripture Chat GPT brought up was Ephesians 6 and 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. And it says here, meaning opposition isn't always obvious or honest. Now, this is the part that got me, and when I said I got to talk about this. Do you know, I did not ask Chat GPT to mention anything about the name of Yahawashi. I'm reading it exactly as it is written out in the chat. I just asked about, that one scripture, never trust thy enemy. And it says, even Yahawashi, also known as Jesus, said, that's what it has, little brackets here. Even Yahawashi, Jesus said, be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Matthew 10 and 16. I thought that was kind of interesting. I said, damn, maybe Chat GPT knows what I'm thinking, because Satan's the prince of the air, he's the power of the air. And I'm just like, damn. I saw the name of Yahawashi there, and it kind of tripped me out. Anyway, we know that our deliverance, our salvation draws nigh, and we're at the end. I do want to close on this. Psalms 75:7 says, but Yahweh is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth, shall wring them out and drink them. But I will declare forever, I will sing praises to Yahweh of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. The Lord is our defense. While the rest of the world is bugging out and losing their mind and going crazy, and what are we going to do when the time of Jacob's trouble comes? They're not going to know what to do. When they see ICE snatching up niggas off the corner, the world is going to go crazy. Here in America, people aren't going to know what to do because things are about to get bad. 2025 was real as real can be. But even in that, it was still just a test run. Because as she said in that clip, the main target is black folk, the tribe of Judah. They're already doing all types of foul, wicked shit to the northern tribes. People going missing. They say they're deporting them, but people come up missing. All 12 tribes are targeted. We're going to need divine intervention, a power from on high to defend us. And if you truly believe, I hope you were edified. And till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.